Good evening, children. I think you are enjoying the online classes, right? So be in touch with the online classes, enjoy the concepts that we are going to provide for this foundation program in order to crack the competitive examinations like IIT JEE as well as NEET examinations. As you know, I am your chemistry teacher and we are discussing about the gaseous state, right? So in that case, we have in the last class we have seen about the kinetic gas theory and also the kinetic molecular theory. Thereby we even derived the kinetic gas equation, okay. And from the kinetic gas equation we have derived the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is going to depend upon the temperature, that what we have seen in the previous classes, right, okay. So even we can use as I told you, the kinetic energy or the kinetic equation that is derived, or the kinetic equation that we got, PV equal to 1 by 3 mn c square, is a theoretical basis or the theoretical concept of the gaseous laws, the gas laws that we have discussed. All the gas laws that are given, the Boyle's law, the Charles law, the Gay-Lussac's law, Avogadro's law, Graham's law, Dalton's law. So all these laws are experimental observations. So there must be a correlation between the experimental observations and the theoretical concept. So in order to have this correlation, in order to explain the gas laws on theoretical basis, the gas laws were proposed, okay. So the gas laws are given, the kinetic gas equation was proposed in order to explain the gas laws on theoretical basis, the kinetic gas equation given, okay. And we have seen the different postulates of kinetic gas equation, thereby we have got the kinetic equation, okay. Now what we are going to see is the deviation or a derivation, how we are going to deduce the gas laws from kinetic gas equation. So kinetic equation is used, and using the kinetic equation we are going to give the gas laws that are going to be obtained. So this clearly indicates the coincidence of the theoretical concept in the form of the kinetic molecular theory and the gas laws given on the experimental basis, Boyle's law. So both the concepts, theoretical basis and the experimental basis, will coincide with one another. So they agree with one another. So that agreement can be seen by deducing the gas laws from kinetic equation, okay. Let us observe what is kinetic equation. Actually it is given, we know that according to the concept that is made from the given gas laws, the postulates of kinetic molecular theory, we have ended up with the equation PV equal to 1 by 3 m n c square, m n c square, okay. So here we can multiply and divide this equation with 2, okay. So with multiplying and dividing with the 2, nothing will happen in this case. In order to rearrange in the form of the kinetic energy or kinetic energy equation, we are multiplying it with the 2 and bringing the 3 to this side and making the 2 to the other side, it becomes 1 by 3 into 1 by 2 m n c square. Here small m indicates mass of a gas, small n indicates number of gas molecules, c indicates the speed, velocity, root mean square velocity. We will come across again once we wind up this kinetic molecular theory, we will discuss about the molecular velocities, the root mean square velocity, average velocity and most probable velocity. We generally, gas molecules possess 3 different types of velocities. All the 3 different types of velocities we are going to discuss, and even we are going to derive the equations for these velocities of the speeds, and there we are going to apply the these velocities in order to calculate their values. The numericals also we are going to face, okay. So here what we are doing, we are taking the kinetic gas equation, we are multiplying and dividing with the 2 for the one side of this equation, so that it will remain the same, and now rearranging the terms, we know that half m c square, it is the kinetic energy. So we are going to get it as 2 by 3 kinetic energy of a molecule. So in the previous class we have discussed that kinetic energy is generally given as 3 by 2 RT for a molecule, and if we want to calculate the kinetic energy for a molecule, in that case it is given as 3 by 2 kT. Okay. So, the kinetic energy is 3 by 2 RT or 3 by 2 kT that we have given, this for one molecule and this is for 1 mole. Okay. So, what is K here? K is a Boltzmann constant. How the K is obtained? K is obtained by dividing the universal gas constant with a Avogadro number. So, when we are dividing the universal gas constant with Avogadro number, we get the Boltzmann constant. In the previous class, we even discussed the value of Boltzmann constant, right? Okay. So, here kinetic energy equal to 3 by 2 kT is for molecule and the kinetic energy 3 by 2 RT is for a mole of a given gas. Okay. So, here since we have a mass of a gas and it is number of molecules, so here we can write it as, this is also half mc square is a kinetic energy per a molecule. So, let it be, we can write it as 3 by 2 kT. So, what it is PV now? PV becomes equal to 2 by 3 kT. Okay. How we are getting this one? We are writing the kinetic gas equation, multiplying it, dividing with the 2, rearranging the terms. So, half mc square, m into n, we can write it as this, I can write it as 2 by 3 1 by 2 m c square. The product of m and n, small m and small n product is equal to capital M. Capital M is the molecular mass. So, it becomes 2 by 3 1 by 2 mc square. 1 by 2 mc square is kinetic energy, half mc square, half m v square, it is a kinetic energy. So, we are writing it as kinetic energy. Kinetic energy directly proportional to temperature. We have also seen this one. From these two equations, we can clearly say that kinetic energy is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. So, we are writing absolute temperature and we are writing one proportionality constant. Okay. So, automatically PV becomes equal to 2 by 3 kT. So, using this equation PV equal to 2 by 3 kT, we are going to derive the all the gas laws, that is Boyle's law, Charles law, Gay-Lussac's law, Avogadro law, Dalton's law as well as the Graham's law. Okay. Right. PV equal to 2 by 3 kT. This is what we have seen, right? Just now we have derived this equation. So, in this equation, if we are going to keep the temperature constant, what happens? 2 by 3 is a constant, K is also a constant, now T also becoming constant. In that case, PV will be equal to constant. So, automatically P into V becomes constant. P into V become constant means the product of pressure and velocity is equal to, product of pressure and volume is equal to constant. So, in that case, if I am bringing the volume to this side, automatically the volume I can write it as pressure equal to constant by volume, or if we are going to relate the volume and pressure, they are related in a inverse fashion. So, inversely, pressure is inversely related to the volume of the gas. What does it mean? It means the Boyle's law. So, for a fixed amount of a gas at a constant temperature, pressure of gas is inversely proportional to its volume. That is what we are going to get. So, here since we are keeping the temperature constant, 2 by 3 is a constant, K is a constant, T is also constant. So, automatically PV will be equal to constant, or we can apply the constant in first condition and second condition, both are same. So, P1 V1 equal to P2 V2, okay, or V is inversely proportional to P or P is inversely proportional to V, one and the same. So, where N and T are constants which refer for Boyle's law. So, in this particular equation, if you are fixing the mass of the gas constant, okay, and temperature keeping constant, so automatically pressure and volume relation can be obtained and both are found to be inversely related to one another, and it proves the Boyle's law, right. So, coming to the Charles law, in the previous class we have done this one also. So, PV equal to 2 by 3, we are taking the same equation into KT, and by here we have to keep pressure constant. So, if we are keeping the pressure constant, what is Charles law? For a fixed amount of a gas at a constant pressure, the volume of a gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. Volume of a gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature at constant pressure for a fixed amount of a gas. That is what is called as the Charles law. In other words, the volume of a gas increases or decreases by 1 by 273 of its volume at 0 degree centigrade for 1 degree rise or 1 degree fall of temperature for a fixed amount of a gas at a constant pressure. This is one more statement of Charles law. Okay. So, if we are keeping the pressure constant, okay, what we have written here, PV equal to 2 by 3 kT. Okay. Now, I am keeping the, or I am bringing the P to the side, automatically V will be equal to 2 by 3 into K by P into T. 2 by 3 is constant, K is a constant. Now, what we are doing here, we are keeping the pressure also constant. So, pressure is constant, K is constant. So, this becomes constant, this total thing becomes constant. So, we can write it as V equal to some constant into T, or we can write V directly proportional to T, V directly proportional to T. So, automatically for a fixed amount of a gas, if we are going to keep the pressure as a constant, so automatically we can derive the equation as V directly proportional to temperature T. Okay. So, by keeping the pressure constant, what we get? We get V by T equal to constant. That is to say that if this equation, in this equation, if I am bringing the T to this side, automatically we get this equation, V by T equal to constant. So, we are getting V by T equal to constant. If we are applying the V by T value for the same gas under two different conditions, two different states, in that case we can write it as V1 by T1 equal to V2 by T2, or we can directly say volume of a gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. For example, for fixing the mass of the gas constant and pressure of the gas constant, what we can get? We can derive the Charles law from the kinetic gas equation, PV equal to 2 by 3 kT. So, using this equation we can derive the Charles law. This proves that a Charles law can also be derived from the kinetic gas equation. Okay. Now, what is Gay-Lussac's law? Gay-Lussac's law is given as the pressure of a gas increases or decreases by 1 by 273 of its pressure at 0 degree for every fall of rise of 1 degree temperature at a constant volume for a fixed amount of a gas. In other words, for a fixed amount of a gas at a constant volume, the pressure of gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. So, the Gay-Lussac's law will give us a relation between pressure and temperature. So, by taking the same kinetic gas equation, PV equal to 2 by 3 kT. So, we are taking PV equal to 2 by 3 kT. Okay. Now, what we have to keep constant here, which parameter to be kept constant? The volume has to be kept constant. If I am bringing the volume to this side, what it becomes? P becomes equal to 2 by 3 into K by V into T. Okay. It becomes 2 by 3 K by V into T, right. Now, if we are keeping the volume constant, 2 by 3 is a constant, K is constant, now V also constant, constant by constant into constant. So, we are going to get one more constant. So, we can write it as P equal to constant into T, okay. Or if I am bringing the P to this side, it becomes P by T equal to constant. Or if I am removing the constant and I am making direct proportionality, in that case P is directly proportional to T. So, this is how we can easily derive the Gay-Lussac's law from kinetic gas equation. Okay. Now, if we observe, by keeping the volume constant, what we are going to get? We are going to get P by T is a constant. Okay. So, here this total is constant, so I am writing it as constant, bringing the T to this side. when I am bringing the T to this side, P by T, the ratio of pressure and temperature is coming out to be constant. So, if we are applying this particular Gay-Lussac's law for the fixed amount of a gas at a constant volume under two different conditions, under two different states, in that case what we are going to get? P1 by T1 equal to P2 by T2, P1 by T1 equal to P2 by T2, or we can say that pressure of a gas directly proportional to the temperature, P is directly proportional to temperature. This is how we are going to derive the Gay-Lussac's law. So, okay. So, if we observe here N and V are kept constant, we are going to end up this equation with the Gay-Lussac's equation, pressure directly proportional to the temperature. Another form of Gay-Lussac's law is that for a fixed amount of a gas, the pressure of a gas increases or decreases by 1 by 273 of its pressure at 0 degree centigrade for every 1 degree rise of or for every 1 degree fall of temperature. So, that is one way of saying the Gay-Lussac's law. In the same fashion the Charles law is given, okay, and sometimes it is also called as Gay-Lussac's Charles law. It is also called as Gay-Lussac's Charles law, okay. Now, let us look at the Avogadro concept. What is Avogadro's law? Under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, when we are having similar conditions of temperature and pressure, okay, similar conditions of temperature and pressure, in that case what happens? Equal volume of gases contain equal number of moles or equal number of molecules, okay. So, this is the concept that is given by Avogadro. By keeping pressure, temperature constant, if we are look at the volume, if we are taking equal volume of different gases, automatically when the volumes are equal, temperature and pressure are kept constant, in that case they contain equal number of molecules or equal number of moles. That is what is the Avogadro's hypothesis is, okay. Otherwise, we can say that if volumes of the two gases V1 and V2 are equal to one another, automatically number of moles are same, or we can say that the number of molecules in first gas will be equal to the number of molecules in second gas. So, this is possible only by keeping temperature and pressure constant. That is what is the Avogadro hypothesis is, okay. How to derive the Avogadro's law or from the kinetic gas equation? Now, consider two gases, okay. Take two gases, gas 1 and gas 2. So, we have two gases with us, we are taking the gas 1 and gas 2, okay. For two gases, the kinetic gas equation we can write it as. So, we can write the kinetic gas equation for the first gas as P1 V1 equal to 1 by 3 M1 N1 C1 square, okay. For first gas I am writing the, I am applying the kinetic gas equation to gas 1, okay. For gas 1 we are writing P1 V1 equal to 1 by 3 M1 N1 C1 square, let it be equation 1, okay. Apply the same kinetic gas equation to the second gas as well. So, applying this one to the second gas, we can write it as P2 V2 equal to 1 by 3 M2 N2 C2 square, okay. It is P2 means pressure of the second gas, V2 is the volume of second gas, P1 is the volume of first gas, V1 is the, P1 is the pressure of first gas, V1 is the volume of first gas. M1 indicates number of mass of the first gas, N1 indicates number of molecules of gas 1, C1 is the velocity of gas 1 molecules, okay. P2, V2, M2, N2 are the same thing with respect to the second gas, let it be equation number 2, okay. So, we have taken two gases and we are applying the kinetic gas equation to the two and we are writing the equation. Now, what we have to do? So what is c here? C is nothing but the speed or the velocity. Okay, root mean square velocity or root mean square speed in this case, right? As if we are going to keep pressure and pressure is constant, let us say in both the both the gases pressure is constant. First gas pressure is P1, second gas pressure is P2. So if I am keeping pressure constant, automatically pressure is constant, so P1 will be equal to P2. Okay, and if we are keeping the volume as also constant, if you are keeping volume of the gases, I am taking same volume of both the gases, gas 1 and gas 2, I am taking same volume. In that case, if I am keeping the volume constant, automatically V1 is the volume of gas 1, V2 is the volume of gas 2. So automatically V1 will be equal to V2. So what does it mean? P1 equal to P2, V1 equal to V2 means at a constant pressure, if we are keeping the pressure constant and if we are keeping the volume constant, so keeping pressure and volume constant, what we are going to get? In that case, we are going to end up, since P1 equal to P2, V1 equal to V2, so automatically P1 V1 will be equal to P2 V2. Okay. Here no need to think about the Boyle's law. Okay, here the values are given, P1 V1 is given for gas 1, for second gas I am representing the pressure as P2 and V2. Okay, both the gases are different, but these two gases are kept at the same pressure, so automatically same pressure means P1 should be equal to P2, and I am taking same volume, I am taking 1 liter of gas 1, 1 liter of gas 2, so volume is same. So in that case 1 liter and 1 liter, V1 is equal to V2, so V1 V2 are also equal. So in that case P1 and V1, product of this pressure and this volume will be equal to product of this pressure and this volume. So in that case these two are equal, P1 V1 equal to P2 V2. P1 V1 equal to P2 V2 means automatically from equation 1 and 2 what will be equal? If these two are equal, if the right hand side of the two equations are equal, RHS part, right hand side of the equations are equal, in that case we can equalize the left hand LHS part, LHS are also equal, that is what we are writing here. Okay, of course in that case we can cancel this 1 by 3, 1 by 3, so I am removing 1 by 3, I am directly writing it as M1 N1 C1 square, M1 N1, this is C1 ma, okay, N1 N1 C1 square equal to M2 N2 C2 square. Are you able to follow? M1 N1 C1 square equal to M2 N2 C2 square, that is what we are getting here. So this is equation number 3. So we are getting one more equation here, right? Okay. Now let us further proceed so that we can easily get the concept in this case. If T1 equal to T2, if T1 equal to T2, that is to say that since just now we have kept the pressure as a constant, okay, and we have even taken the volumes are also constant, so the volume is also constant in that case. So now what we are doing? We are keeping the temperature also constant. What we are doing? We are even keeping the temperature also constant. When temperature is kept constant, automatically T1, the temperature of gas 1 will be equal to temperature of the gas 2. Both the gases are kept at the same temperature. So as I told you, what is the temperature of the gas? The temperature at which the gas is kept. So since for example, I have taken the two gases, hydrogen gas and oxygen gas, equal volumes, I am keeping under room conditions. I am keeping them under room conditions. So automatically the room temperature is the temperature of these two gases. So in that case, two gases are at the same temperature. So T1 will be equal to T2. So when T1 is equal to T2, what we can write? We know that kinetic energy. What is kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is half M1 C1 square for the first gas. So this is kinetic energy for the first gas. If I am taking kinetic energy for the second gas, I can write it as half M2 C2 square. So these are the kinetic energies that we can give for the two gases, gas 1 and gas 2. Okay, and we know that what is kinetic energy? Kinetic energy will depend upon which factor? It will depend upon only the temperature. We have seen kinetic energy equal to 3 by 2 RT, 3 by 2 KT, 3 by 2 is constant, R is also constant. So kinetic energy depends only on temperature. If we are keeping the temperature constant, what happens? The kinetic energy of first gas and kinetic energy of the second gas both are equal. Okay, kinetic energy of first gas and kinetic energy of second gas both are equal. Now we are keeping the temperature constant, therefore their kinetic energies are also constant. That is, we can write it as kinetic energy of gas 1 will be equal to kinetic energy of gas 2. That is what we are getting here. We can write kinetic energy as half mc square, half mv square. I am writing for the two gases, I am getting this equation. Now divide the equation 3 with the equation 2. So from equation 3, what is equation 3? We have seen in the previous slide, m1 n1 c1 square equal to m2 n2 c2 square. This is what is the equation number 3. Okay. So from equation number 3 and equation number 4, if we observe, of course we can get the half values can be gets cancelled out. If I am dividing equation number 3 with equation number 4, divide the equation number 3 with the equation number 4. Equation number 3 and equation number 4 both are divided with one another. So automatically what we can write, m1 n1 c1 square will be divided by this is equal to, there I can write it as m2 n2 c2 square divided by, here kinetic energy m1 c1 square m2 c2 square. So now the terms can be cancelled, m1 gets cancelled out, c1 square gets cancelled out, m2 gets cancelled out, c2 square gets cancelled out. So what we are going to get, n1 will be equal to n2. So here what we have done, we have kept the pressure constant, we have kept the temperature constant. In that case, if you take equal volumes of the two gases, in that case the two gases will contain equal number of moles, equal number of molecules. So that is proved clearly. Okay. So here we are taking the two gases, applying the kinetic gas equation to the two gases, and we are keeping the pressure, volume and temperature constant, and then comparing the kinetic energy and the kinetic gas equation. From the two equations, dividing the equation 3 with the equation 4, we are ending with the formation of n1 equal to n2. So what does it indicate? From kinetic gas equation, we can conclude that under similar conditions of pressure and temperature, P1 equal to P2, T1 equal to T2, what we can do? Equal volume of two gases, whatever may be the gas you are going to take, the temperature and pressure is constant and volume is also same. In that case, two equal volumes of the gases will have same number of molecules. This is what is called Avogadro's law. Okay. So Avogadro law is also derived, can also be derived from this kinetic gas equation. So we can take kinetic gas equation and we can apply the kinetic gas equation, and thereby we can derive the Avogadro's law. So we have taken two gases, we are keeping the two gases under normal condition, room condition, let us say, the pressure is constant, we are taking equal volumes, the volume become constant, and since we are keeping at the same temperature, so under that condition, similar conditions of temperature and pressure, the equal volumes of two gases always contain equal number of molecules or equal number of moles. Okay. So this is what we are going to derive from the kinetic gas equation with respect to the Avogadro's law. Okay. Right. I think students, you are clearly very clear with the concepts what we have done so far. Okay. Now let us look at the Graham's law of diffusion. Here the rate of diffusion or effusion can be assumed to be directly proportional to the root mean square velocity. So here the what you can say, the rate of effusion, we know rate of effusion or rate of diffusion we generally represent with a small r. Okay. So here the rate of diffusion is directly related to the root mean square velocity. That is to say that this is velocity, rate. How we are going to compare the rate? As we have discussed, the rate will be equal to volume of the gas diffused, okay, by time taken. What is the speed now? Velocity or speed? Speed is also the same thing, right? The distance covered in a given time. As we are discussing, when we are discussing the Graham's law, I told you that the rate of diffusion, effusion is nothing but the speed with which it is going out. So the speed and the rate can be easily correlated with one another. So here rate of diffusion of a gas is directly proportional to the square root of the root mean square velocity. That is to say that R is directly proportional to C. What is R? Rate of diffusion. What is C? The root mean square velocity. So, rate given by the volume to the time ratio, volume of gas diffused in a given time. What is the speed or velocity? Distance covered in a given time. So, both are same. So, we can have a direct relation between the rate of diffusion and the root mean square velocity. So, therefore, we can write for two gases, if we are going to take, R1 by R2 will be equal to square root of C1 square by C2 square, or if I am going to cancel this square, in that case what we are going to get? C1 divided by C2, that is also can be obtained. Okay. So, here C is the root mean square velocity. We will come across while we are discussing the molecular velocity in the next classes once we finish this particular theory. Okay. So, C is root mean square velocity or root mean square speed, and C can be given by this equation. C can also be given by this equation, 3 PV by mW, 3 PV by mW. Okay. So, we can write it this way, PV equal to, what is kinetic gas equation? M N C square, 1 by 3 Mn C square. Okay. So, PV equal to, if we are going to write the product M into N, small m into small n, what is it? Small m into small n is the molecular mass. So, it will be molecular mass mW into C square. Okay. So, if I am writing it as a C square, if I want to write it as C square, then I have to bring these term to the other side. So, bringing these term to the other side, 1 by 3 when it comes to it, it will be multiplying. Okay. So, 3 PV by molecular weight. So, C square equal to 3 PV by molecular weight. So, that is what we are getting. Okay. If we are applying the ideal gas equation, what is ideal gas equation? We know it is PV equal to nRT. For 1 mole, PV will be equal to RT. For 1 mole of gas, PV will be equal to RT. This is what is the ideal gas equation, you know it, right. So, instead of PV, what we can do? We can substitute RT also. This becomes 3 RT by molecular weight. So, this is also taken as C square. So, C square, where we are getting? C square we are getting from kinetic gas equation, PV equal to 1 by 3 Mn C square. The product of small m and small n is nothing but molecular weight, capital M. So, I am writing capital M as mW. Okay. So, I want the equation as C square. So, sending these terms to the other side, when I send the 3 to that side, so 3 going to multiply PV. So, 3 into PV, 3 PV divided by mW. PV can be written as RT. If I apply the ideal gas equation for 1 mole of the gas, PV will be equal to RT. So, instead of PV, I am substituting RT. So, it becomes 3 RT by a molecular weight. So, that is what is obtained here. Okay. So, if we are substituting this one, if I am taking this concept and substituting in the above equation, what is this? Here we are comparing the two gases with respect to their rate of diffusion or rate of effusion. The root mean square velocity is directly proportional to one another. So, we are R1, C1, R2, C2. Now, I am substituting C1 square, just now what we have written? It is written as 3 RT by molecular weight of gas 1, okay, divided by 3 RT by molecular weight of gas 2 under root. C1 square is 3 RT by M1, that is molecular weight of gas 1. C2 square is 3 RT by M2 or MW2. So, here 3 RT gets cancelled out, and this MW2 when goes up, it becomes square root of molecular weight of the gas 2 by molecular mass of the gas 1. Okay. So, what is we are getting? R1 by R2. So, how R1 and molecular weights are related? The molecular weights and rate of diffusion and rate of effusion are inversely related to one another. So, we can write R is rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to the square root of its molecular mass, or rate of diffusion or effusion is inversely proportional to its square root of its density. So, here we can clearly say by using the kinetic gas equation, okay, we are getting the relation between molecular mass and the rate of diffusion as well as rate of effusion. I think you got the clear idea about this one. So here we are substituting the C1 and C2 values, thereby we are getting that equation. So this clearly indicates the Graham's law, right, what we have seen as a Graham's law, right. Now let us focus on the Dalton's law. Dalton's law of partial pressure. Dalton's law of partial pressure. So in case of Dalton's law of partial pressure, what is Dalton's law of partial pressure? Whenever we have a non-reactive gases in a mixture, in that case the total pressure of the gas is equal to sum of the partial pressure of all the gases present in the mixture. Okay. So here we have to prove this Dalton's concept by using the kinetic gas equation. Okay. So we are taking a volume, in that we are making all the gases to enter into it, and the gases that we have taken are non-reactive. So non-reactive gases are present in it, and in that case when the non-reactive gases are present, in that case the total pressure of the gas is always equal to sum of the partial pressure of the gases. Okay. Now let us consider a vessel of volume V. We have a vessel having volume V. Okay. We have taken a vessel, let us say, okay, and we have a volume V, and in that case having Na molecules of gas A with a mass Ma. So we are taking a gas A into it. Okay, I am taking a gas A into it. So how many molecules I am taking? I am taking Na number of molecules, and each gas molecule mass is Ma. Okay. So we can apply the kinetic gas equation to that gas. So for gas A, I can write it as Pa. So I can apply, for example, in this case I am writing here gas A, I am applying the kinetic gas equation. What is that? Pressure of gas A into V equal to 1 by 3 Ma Na Ca square. This is Na Ma Ca square. Okay. So now if I am bringing the V to that side, it becomes Pa will be equal to 1 by 3 3V Ma Na Ca square. Okay. This is how we are going to get the equation. So that is what we are getting, Pi equal to 1 by 3V Ma Na Ca square. Now let us take one more gas into this same vessel with Nb molecules, each molecule having a mass of Mb. Now applying the kinetic gas equation to the gas B, we can write a Pb equal to 1 by 3V Mb Nb Cb square. So first is equation 1, second is equation number 2. Okay. Consider the same amount of both the gases are present in the same time in the same container. We are taking same amount of the gases present in the same time, same container. In that case, what we are going to get? Total pressure of the gas will be equal to, total pressure of the gas will be equal to pressure of gas A plus pressure of gas B. So this is equal to, or this can be written as, just now we have applied the kinetic gas equation to gas A and gas B. So Pa will be equal to 1 by 3 Na Ca square. Pb is 1 by 3V Mb Nb Cb square. Now, so what does it is? Pat equal to Pa plus Pb, and so on we can write. So this is going to prove the Dalton's law of partial pressure. So by using the kinetic gas equation, we can deduce almost all the laws, whether it is a Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law, Avogadro's law, Graham's law and Dalton's law. All the laws can be derived from kinetic gas equation. So it proves the theoretical concept as well as the experimental concept, both are coinciding with one another. I think students, you have enjoyed today's class. We will see some more interesting topics in the upcoming classes with the more interesting concept as well. Okay. Until then, have a nice time. Thank you.